To replace the mesh that you see here inside of my creative prop to something like a cube, there's a couple things that you need to understand, both inside of the editor as well as inside of the verse code. Within the editor, we need to make sure that we have a folder that contains all of the meshes that we're going to be using for this code. In verse, we need to make sure that we actually have access to that specific folder. So to do that, we're using this using meshes, which will have access to this folder that we see right here in the editor. Notice the placement of this folder within the hierarchy. It is directly underneath the main folder of the project. We also need to make sure that we're actually using a blueprint, not just a static mesh. And to create one of those, simply open up your content drawer, go ahead and right click, and come up here to Blueprint Class. The one that I've used for this example is a building static mesh. Once you have it open, go ahead and make sure that you have this top component actually selected. And over here inside of the mesh section, go ahead and set the static mesh that you want it to be at the very beginning before we actually make the switch. With all of that set up, we can now write the one line of code that we need to set the mesh. We just need those bits of information. We want to start with the creative prop that we've defined here inside of the code. So in this case, we're just going to type in bp_mesh swap. After that, we're going to type in a period because we're going to use the function setMesh, so capital S, capital M. From here, we're going to add in a couple of parentheses, and within the parentheses, we're going to go ahead and give the name of the static mesh we want to set it to. In this case, it's S_cube. And now when the player walks over that trigger, it'll go ahead and replace Manny with a cube.